will have dreamed of. Andrew Gilding's been there before. He suffered the heartache. Will it be third time lucky? Or is Danny Jansen, like Dan said, at the 9th time of asking,
95.
Only the 9th appearance on a Pro Tour, win his first title. Something's got to give here. It's been a great day for the pair of them, and they will leave here with their heads held
58.
high. Who is leaving as the champion? Your guess is as good as mine, Dan, but they both deserve their place. It's a surprise final, but these two are there on merit. Take it away, the pair of you.
Well, look at the names they've taken out between them.
140.
Danny Jansen has beaten Peter Wright, the world #1, Krzysztof Ratajski, despite 105 average against him, Chris Dobey, a 2-time winner last year, and Dave Chisnell, a 15-time winner of PDC ranking titles. Gilding has taken out the European champion Rob Cross. Luke Humphries has already won one this year and is one of the rising stars in the game. Jose de Salves is the #3 seed, and the UK Open champion Danny Nopper.
100.
It's not as if things have just opened up. They have taken out some of the top seeds, some of the highest ranked players in the world, and they've played some excellent stuff to do it as well.
140.
Let's not beat around the bush. Well, if you're in a final, you've played some good stuff. You can fluke for a couple of rounds, Dan. You can maybe fluke your ball, possibly. But to make a final, you've played some good stuff, and these two have certainly done that. Danny Jansen in the semi-final showed maturity beyond his years. 5-1 up against Dave Chisnell. Found himself 6-5 down. We see a lot of young players now. I've said this a lot lately. The younger players now are made of sterner stuff. They keep their emotions in check. This guy's a classic example. Keane Barry, Josh Rock, and the new breed of youngsters. They're a lot more mature now. And Jansen already
58
in a final and has a chance to break through early. He broke Dave Chisnell in the opening leg in the semi-final and almost ran away with it.
No score.
Well, the first one looked a decent marker, and he just could not get any closer to it. The brilliant setup shot, the 174, rendered absolutely pointless if Andrew Gilding tidies this up with one double 12. OK, well, that's what he was going for. And that's nearly busted in the 18s.
That would have been a mess.
21.
Andrew Gilding fluffed his line. Jansen's already had 3. 32 was the double he hit to win the semi-final. And it's the double he's hit at the 4th time of asking to get him off and running this final. It is a breaker throw. Danny Jansen strikes the first blow in Players' Championship 9.
Well, Webby mentioned there'd be nerves. I think that's probably the first sign we've seen of it, because there hasn't been a great deal of that sort of stuff from Andrew Gilding today. He's averaging 97.5 for the day. Danny Jansen's not that far behind. He's a couple of points behind, but it's creditable.
And either player, if they were playing a Gedwin Price or Michael van Gerwen, would be nowhere near as nervous as they are now.
Yeah.
But there's an opportunity here. They've got to the final and think, well, let's go and win it. And you saw Madas Rasma and Martin Schindler last week. They're probably, I'm not saying a sense of acceptance, but they knew they had a task on their hands. But their final here is against a player
140.
There's not a great deal of experience. Yes, Gilding's been to a couple of finals, but they're not playing a winner, are they? Someone that's used to winning.
Yeah, well, I think back to Max Hopp, Harry Ward. A day like this. I think that was here in Barnsley. And you could tell there were nerves because it meant so much to the pair of them.
170.
Well, that is a pretty decent setup shot from Goldfinger. 170 to leave 51.
95.
Gilding has responded really well here. Made a mess of the 25 in the previous leg. This for an 11 darter. That's a great response from Andrew Gilding. A couple of legs played, a couple of breaks of throw. And no emotion from Gilding. You don't get a great deal from Gilding. We used to see the thumb now and then, but you don't get a great deal.
I'm pretty sure it'll make an appearance if he does get the title. And the only people to beat him in finals, Gary Anderson, Stephen Bunting, world champions both.
And Bunting was fresh off his world title as well. It was the second tournament of the year. It was in Wigan.
Well, and that was 2014 Gary Anderson as well. You know, absolutely flying. Widely acknowledged as one of the top 2 or 3 players in the world. And he only lost those finals by 1 leg, the pair of them. He's come so close. I didn't think he'd be in another PDC final. Genuinely didn't.
But you said earlier, Dan, on commentary was interesting. You spoke to him. What was his plans when he got his tour card? What do you think he thinks he can win an event? And whether it was a passing comment, you think, I don't believe, and you've admitted that, and I didn't believe he could, but only Andrew Gilding has to believe that he can win an event. That's all that matters, and he's taken some scalps today, and arguably, if he can beat Danny Jansen, it'll be the biggest win of his career. Not as big as payday, because Andrew Gilding's been to a world championship, been to a world match play, but the biggest win.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to look to see what you won for reaching that UK Open semi-final, but I stress, he was probably, if he wasn't the best player in that event, he was certainly in the top 2. The only person that could have beaten him seemingly that weekend was Michael van Gerwen, and he did beat him despite AVG, Andrew van Gilding, averaging 108 in the semi. Over 18 legs of darts. That is an incredible setup shot from Danny Jansen, though.
Yeah, we could be seeing a third breaker throw.
Well, so far in this game, we've had a setup shot of 174 in the first leg from Jansen, a 170 setup from Gilding, and then a 165 from Danny Jansen. The approach play has been absolutely perfect from these two.
He did stutter on the double 16. He hasn't stuttered on the tops. Break again. Good stuff from Danny Jansen. He was on the stream last week and he was very good in victory over Ted Evans. It was a couple of last 16 last week. So he's been threatening a bit of consistency. You can't say he was threatening to win a title, but the signs were there that he was getting better, Danny Jansen, but he just swerved a few rounds here. He's in the mix to win a title.
Well, look, he's played well all day, but by my reckoning, looking at Dart Connect, he survived match darts in 3 consecutive matches against Willie O'Connor, Peter Wright, and then Christoph Ratajski. Now, they've all
64
missed those darts, and he's been there to take advantage. He's won the game, and there's plenty of senior players, experienced players, that, having been rattled by that, wouldn't have taken their chances. This bloke's 19 years old, playing in his 9th senior event in PDC darts. He's managed to hold it together when Dave Chisnell won
59.
5 legs on the spin against him.
Yeah, that's what was impressive, because he was waiting to be 6-1 up, and he could have thought, oh, this semi-final act's a doddle, but he was made to work for it. And young players, when they surrender a lead, petulance can creep in, 95. They can start chucking, they can start rushing. Not Danny Jansen, but he's not going to rattle Andrew Gilding.
I'll hold my hands up. I had no idea about this guy until I saw him in Wigan. I think it was the first weekend we had him. I didn't even know about the hair. And then he turned up on the stream and battered World Championship finalist Michael Smith, averaging 107. I thought we've got a player here.
90.
And they've been little sight. It looks good, but there's nothing to suggest, like you were saying, that he was going to do something like this all day.
45.
Five for tops. He's been very good on this today. And he remains very, very good on it. Well, 4 legs in, every single one of them a break of throw. Andrew Gilding averaging 99. Danny Jansen just below the 90 mark.
If Danny Jansen can find victory in this final, he's got a chance of gate crashing the match play. There's plenty of darts to be played as well.
81.
He would go... Well, Andrew Gilding would...
250 quid outside
just
for Gilding,
be outside,
isn't it?
Yeah. I take the mick out of Johnny Clayton. I'm struggling to do that maths then.
41.
But he's been at the match play before, but Dan, these are 2 players that are 6 months behind everyone on the one, and it just goes to show the form they're in.
Well, Danny Jansen, let's put it this way. At the start of today, 100. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, Danny Jansen was ranked 103 in the world. Andrew Gilding was ranked 84.
100.
They have taken out a succession of top 20 and top 10 players, and they're fighting out for £12,000 in ranking money in this final.
And in terms of the floor, Dan, you've covered a lot more than me. The rankings are
57.
I don't want to use the word irrelevant, but the golf isn't there, is there now?
No, well, I don't think so. I think part of the reason everything is so unpredictable.
100.
Hence why we're seeing this here.
Part of the reason it's so unpredictable is that the strength in depth has increased and has been increasing for some time, and we don't have a dominant force at the top of the odds who is mopping up half the tournaments. Taylor used to do it, Van Gerwen used to do it, and that we don't have that force. And so if you take, Van Gerwen's won
42.
a handful of titles. What, 3 titles in the last year and a half? And so that opens up an entire 50% of titles that he used to be winning, which could be won by anybody.
76.
And they are winning them. Jim Williams with his first win. Luke Humphries with his first win this year. One of these two picks up their first win this year. It makes it very unpredictable, makes it a nightmare to pick the results. But I'll tell you what makes it interesting.
Yeah, not winners, but Martin Schindler, Madas Razma making final last week. And
40.
I don't want to ruin it for Danny Jansen, Andrew Gilding fans, but don't be shocked if these guys go in the first round tomorrow. It's just the way it is now. It's so competitive. But regardless, going forward, particularly Danny Jansen, I think, is going to be a force. Andrew Gilding with a renaissance and is putting himself in the mix.
Game shot.
He looks so comfortable on those combinations today, Andrew Gilding.
Everything I've seen, tops and double 12 in particular, he has been absolutely mustard.
43.
I mean, look, we've seen players who've been around the tour for ages and ages and ages, and they have their day. Mickey Mansell took 10 years to win a Pro Tour, and on the day he did, played brilliantly. He averaged the best part of 100 for the entire day. There was about a 3-hour period where he barely lost a leg. It was just 6-0, 6-0, 6-0. But we know that's possible. If you stay on the tour, then
100.
that's a feat in itself, because it's very, very hard, very, very competitive, as you know all too well, Mark. But you have that chance where you're going to get a day where you play somewhere near your best. But even then it's hard to get over the line.
54.
And most players never win a title.
Yeah, and it's when you win a title, you look back on a game where you've underperformed, but if you can find a way to win, you said Danny Jansen survived match start. Andrew Gilding wasn't at his best against Rob Cross, but found a way to win, and they've both done that today. And what was interesting, we know Andrew Gilding has played a long format. It'd be interesting if Danny Jansen's actually played a game beyond, well, best of 7. Well, he's first to 7, sorry.
140.
I'd be surprised if he has. So he's in uncharted territory here, but it's just valuable experience. And
well, he's played loads of youth stuff, Danny Jansen.
99.
WDF, he's won some sort of Czech Open, he's won, I think, the French Open. He's been part of the WDF Youth Cups. So he's got some experience, but it is such a step up. Such a step up.
60.
And to come and beat the list of players that he's done today and be right there in this final. But I tell you what,
100.
Andrew Gilding took this 164 out in the semi-final. It proved to be the key moment in his game against Danny Noppert. If this goes in the final as well, I may not speak. I may not be able to speak.
oh, I thought I could have been doing the rest of the final on my own. Andrew Gilding can't find another 164, but
96.
this ain't a gimme. Danny Jansen 76. These are key moments in this final. It's a good first start, and this is the first time we've really seen him steady himself, and that wasn't
Game shot.
brilliant. Danny Jansen levels up at 3 apiece, and you'd have to add this is a fair scoreline. 6 legs played, 3 legs apiece. Still a bit too early for him to be thinking about the title, but
100.
getting at the sort of crossover stage now.
$180.
Maximum for Jansen. It's his first 180 of this contest, but you can add it to a 174 and a 165 that he's had in this match already.
$60.
At the minute, we're in the meat of this match, the middle of it. Oof. These guys are just throwing. They're in the rhythm now.
85.
They're probably forgetting a little bit about the context. Yes, there'll be some nerves. Yes, it's going to be a strange experience, particularly for Danny Jansen. But as this game goes on, it may be difficult to block that out. We saw that in Jim Williams and Ricky Evans, where it got very, very nervy towards the end of their final, when we knew that we were going to have a first-time winner. For Ricky, It would have been at the 5th time of asking. Jim is, again, similar to Danny, in a very, very short space of time finds himself with a chance of winning a title.
Yeah, and making his move on the Gilding throw. He's going to get a chance at the 96.
92.
Good pick off from Gilding. Key moment coming up now. Danny Jansen. And this, it's only a little pause, isn't it? It worked in the previous leg. It's worked again. 11 dart breaker throw from Danny Jansen. He's halfway to the title. And there we see the first real roar from him. We've seen a little nod, but that was a big moment. But we haven't seen any daylight between the players. We've seen breaks, but they've quickly been cancelled out. Can Danny Jansen hammer home the advantage? That's a good start.
Well, it looks like you can safely add Danny Jansen to the list of hugely exciting
84.
teenage players in the world of darts right now, along with Louis Williams, Keane Barry, Adam Gavlas, Sebastian Białecki, who made a semi-final in the Challenge Tour this evening over in Germany, although the tournament won by Stefan Belmont of Switzerland.
And he's got a great opportunity, Danny Jansen.
59.
Particularly now. He's starting to take control of this final. That's high, but look, he stays in the trebles, stays in the 27. That's okay. Gilding can leave 178 at best here. Danny Jansen's got 6 darts to get rid of 176 in a great position for 5-3. Is it going to be more final heartache for Andrew Gilding?
100.
Good last start, a little nod of acknowledgement. That's all he's needed. He's done the hard work. He pulled himself away early in the leg. 140 realistically needed for Gilding. And of course, he's going to deliver, isn't he?
138.
Good dart.
Leaves him on a Shanghai finish. 17 in tops for 5-3 and daylight.
62.
Can't quite find it, and Andrew Gilding, a Shanghai finish, will tie this up again.
Just the way this final's gone, the way the day's gone, you expect it to go. And he's been good down at floating one over the top today. Can't do it there. He's unlucky.
100.
Floats the last one over, but Danny Jansen for a 2-leg cushion. It is a 2-leg cushion. 5-3. He's 3 legs away from a maiden PDC title at the 9th attempt. 9 tournaments Danny Jansen has played in the PDC, and he's already on the verge of picking up a title.
140.
Well, there's still time for this to turn, but Danny Jansen, if anything, is looking stronger 95. As the game goes on. The average has climbed from the 80s up into the sort of low to mid 90s. Gilding is still hovering around that 96 average. He put on a burst in the semi-final to take the game away from Danny Noppert. He needs another one of those bursts now. He put on a burst to beat Jose de Sousa in the quarterfinals.
137.
Good switch from Danny. Danny Jansen's thinking, if I get another break here, then he will start thinking about the title. He still won't be thinking about it yet, because he's got a break, but he's against the darts, so it's only 1 break.
81.
Well, even staying straight there and leaving 1-2-1 would have made it a lot easier. And this is making it even harder.
125.
That's a frustrating miss.
I thought he'd come down, Dan. But Gilding, how's your setup play? He's going to find it hard to get one over the top there. Yeah, 60. I wasn't convinced he's going to get that. This is delicately poised. Even if Jansen doesn't get rid of the 144, it's not going to go, but find a treble. There's pressure on Gilding. Doesn't.
60.
Big exchange coming up now.
Problems. Double 10.
70.
And misses inside. Now, is it one dart at the bull? Is it two at double 12 for Danny Jansen? He should be getting a chance to go 6-3 up.
14. Stay in the 14. And that's what he's done. Big dart for Jansen.
59.
How important will that be come the end? But Andrew Gilding going up for double 5. This ain't easy. These are pressure moments.
He's been good at the top of the board today. Oh, he thought it was in. The wire moved. But how much room has he got? Is it got to be top right, or can he force it underneath?
They look like good markers, don't they? But Gilding's had to shuffle. Brilliant dart.
Shot.
Brilliant dart from Gilding. They look good. Danny Jansen. And this one, he's just got to take a breather. I'm only going to comment.
100.
It took me 9 darts, but they've got very similar shaped darts, haven't they? Similar, contrasting styles, but similar darts. And there we see Andrew Gilding tucks himself away to the left a lot when he throws. He's got a
59.
routine that he sticks to. He goes up, gets himself up against the hockey. Whereas Danny Jansen, it's all a lot quicker and a lot more forceful.
180.
Well, just the two maximums in this contest, both for Danny Jansen. And Gilding's been hitting them at a similar rate to Jansen over the course of the day. Came into the final, it's 13-12 in Jansen's favour. But it's just
57.
In what is a tight game, an extra 180 here or there could really prove to be the difference, because this title might come down to one moment, one little miss here, or one moment of inspiration. It is
60.
tight.
Well, the moment of inspiration so far is the 11 dart break in the 7th leg from Danny Jansen.
60.
And let's hope it's a moment of magic and not errors that decides this final. These two have been brilliant all day.
59.
Full visits to the board, not leaving a finish. He can't afford to have many more legs like this, Andrew Gilding, because time will be running out. It's a miss at tops by Danny Jansen, but it's a high miss, which means he comes back with 3 in his hand, looking at the same target.
And Danny Jansen is a young player, so he will feel it. Gilding needs to stay in touch with him and having that freedom to be able to miss at tops.
97.
You said, Dan, and sensibly. He was cautious with it, very cautious at the tops, but will be more aggressive now, that is for sure. Double 10. Oh, now then. Oh, brilliant dart. Right in the corner. We've seen him chuck a wild one into the 15 against Chisel in the semi-final, but that one puts him 2 legs away from victory. Jansen
95.
looking to make it easy on himself. Attack the Gilding throw here and puts himself in prime position.
125. $123.
Still searching for that first maximum.
81.
These are key moments. Gilding, you'd never guess, but he'll be feeling the pressure here. Brilliant.
140.
He's had the answers for pretty much everything Danny Jansen's thrown at him. It's just that one breaker throw that he couldn't respond to. But
140.
Gilding will not fold here. He never folded in the other finals. He was just beaten that day by the better player. An incredible Gary Anderson performance.
This would be incredible. That is incredible. Andrew Gilding with a 1-4-3 checkout and a 12-darter just to try and reassert himself in this final. He is still second favourite here. but he's going to make Danny Jansen work for it.
96.
But it's one leg from swinging in his favour. It's a breaker throw, but it's a breaker throw that's very fragile. It's against the darts.
$60.
Danny Jansen hasn't wilted yet. And I stress yet because I'm not convinced he is going to wilt. I think Andrew Gilding's going to have to produce something if he's going to turn this around.
Did you sense any nerves from Danny in the Chizzy game at all? Like when he was coming back, when he was winning those leg after leg after leg?
There was a nervy moment when he went in the 15. He had a dart at double 10. It was wild into the 15. I thought that could change the game. And Dave got back to 5 or 6-5. But no, that was it. Just the edgy dart. It wasn't edgy moments. It was edgy darts. Just an edgy dart. And he regrouped. And the last leg, a couple of treble visits to start, then again. But the 92, he walked up to the hockey and he knew what his plan was. It was the 25 who got the ball, 10 for double 16. And
80.
On the pasture play, he deserved to win that semi-final. But a semi-final and a final is completely different.
60.
It's okay. Gilding's not doing enough against the darts. You said in the last leg, Danny, he wasn't doing enough.
Yeah, and time is running out. Because unless...
81.
And he's not left himself a finish, unless Danny Jansen fails to win this leg in the next 2 visits and gives Gilding a chance. Is that in? No, it isn't.
48.
So he can just leave himself on tops.
He's being afforded that luxury again, though, Danny. When he missed the tops, he could be cautious on the tops.
But he's relying on Jansen missing, because if not, Gilding is going to have to win 3 straight legs. It would only still be 1 break, but there would be no
100.
room for error. Can he go to the brink, Danny Jansen?
Game
He can.
And Andrew Gilding was hoping for a rare mistake. He doesn't get it. Andrew Gilding's at the point of no return. He needs 3 successive legs. 2 of them would be on throw, but it's that break that he hasn't really threatened since Jansen got in front with that 11 dart in leg 7.
100. $91.
Well, with all the incredible young
100.
talent, all the youth tour and world youth champions that we've seen graduate onto the PDC circuit
100.
and play incredible darts, I'm struggling to think of a younger winner of the PDC senior title than Danny Jansen if he can get this 1 more leg at 19 years old.
99.
Well, he'd like to do it here. Stating the obvious, I know, but the drama of having to throw, and it's a delicate
100.
lead, isn't it? And it's delicately poised here. Gilding now has got to make Danny Jansen throw for the victory. Don't let him off the hook. Don't give him the easy way out here. And it doesn't look like he's going to.
Still an awkward finish, that 62. And Jansen is right there with him. Wow. Andrew Gilding, can you hold it together? You cannot afford any mistakes.
Game shot.
Oh, what a shot. We couldn't quite see it there, but it is in, and he's making Danny Jansen throw for it. Incredible shot from Andrew Gilding. He's been resilient all day. We saw the shoulder coming there. He really tried to force that last start.
These are the moments to make champions. Andrew Gilding will tell you, you do
97.
not necessarily get these moments come along very often. He has had to wait almost a decade for another crack in a PDC final.
40.
But unless he can turn this around from 143 points back in this leg, he will come up short just again.
Oh, Danny Jansen.
60.
It's in the palm of your hands here, and it's been too comfortable on his throw. He's been good. He's been really good since he got that break. He's rarely been, well, he hasn't been threatened on his darts, and this is a 19-year-old throwing for his first senior title, and he's on 1-2-1 after 9 darts thrown.
It was a 4-visit leg to beat Dave Chisnall in a last leg decider.
Doesn't need a 4-visit leg here.
140.
I spoke too soon there, sorry, Andrew. But he doesn't now.
He tried to go for the ball, I think.
I'd go for the ball again. Brilliant.
97.
Oh, he went aggressive. He's picked it off, and he's going to get darts for the title. Andrew Gilding looking to apply pressure, but it's looking like more final misery for Andrew Gilding.
He can put some pressure on, and he does that.
100.
But Danny Jansen, the teenager from the Netherlands, to be the main man today.
He's earned his chance, and he is the champion. Danny Jansen, the teenager from Holland, only his 9th PDC ranking event, is a ranking winner. He beats Andrew Gilding in the final. It's capped off a fine day's work for Danny Jansen.